All right, Jade Cargill officially signed to SmackDown, and she made her official SmackDown debut as she came out on this week's edition of the show. And yeah, she signed her contract, and we know now that she has a WrestleMania match in store. She's going to team with Bianca Belair and Naomi to take on Damage Control, Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Look, I had made kind of the prediction, I guess, going back to the WrestleMania 40 kickoff event in Las Vegas. You know, we had made a video on that. We said, could it be possible that they go with Jade and Bianca as a tag team at WrestleMania? Maybe they're the ones to challenge Asuka and Kairi Sane. Ultimately, they go with the six-woman tag here, which I think is still fine because I think you're moving more towards that possibility in the future. And look, we all know, too, this is going to come down to the eventual, no doubt WWE wants this. They want the Jade versus Bianca singles match. Maybe, my guess is you're probably doing that a year from now, is maybe something they like to build towards because of what we had with the interaction in the Women's Rumble this year. The crowd went nuts for it, and that's kind of what we thought, right, is you put these two in the ring together, boom, ultimate kind of dream match scenario for fans and everything. But I think what we saw in this SmackDown, really with everything she was involved in, I think WWE made it very clear, and if anyone had any questions about what they really think of Jade Cargill, do they think she can get to the next level? People have brought up, well, you know, her in-ring stuff's got to improve, all this. I mean, they revealed it on this SmackDown. If you had any questions, any doubts, their presentation of Jade Cargill, I thought, on this particular edition of SmackDown was everything because they made her immediately sort of feel like a huge star, which they did when she made her first appearance on WWE television, how many months ago that's been now. But they did everything here to sort of tell you that, you know, the Rumble spot, that was something very clear when they put her in the Rumble. That was kind of your first, you know, dipping your toes in the water a little bit, right? It was a situation where let's see how the crowd reacts. Let's see how she can handle a multi-woman match, which is perfect because you don't have to go out and do everything yourself. You can play off of other people. And again, it's not all just about you and how you manage a match as someone who, you know, clearly still needs more experience and those kind of things. So, but how they positioned her now, I mean, just the entrance, like if you think about WWE, right, and the entrances and how much of a role that plays in like the presentation aspect of everything. Like sometimes people are like, man, people make so much about entrances. But, I mean, it's something to where if WWE's putting all this into your entrance, that tells you what you need to know. And I mean, if you just look at the screen here, right? Think about, you know, they're doing The Storm is Coming, all this other stuff. That's kind of the tagline for Jade here. But you watch that entrance. Like that entrance felt like one where we're not putting all this work into this entrance. We're not giving you this grand sort of spectacle unless we are trying to tell you without any hesitation that we think this could be our next biggest star for years and years and years, right? She could be the absolute biggest thing we have in the women's division, maybe one of the most popular stars in the entire company, period. That is how they presented her on SmackDown. And, you know, as always, there's going to be people that say, well, you know, clearly she's not here yet. Her mic skills, in-ring skills, all this. It's fine. But what has WWE always done? If you go back to like the most successful people that got over many years ago, it's not about just saying, all right, here are all these weaknesses. We're going to let you see every single weakness that this person has on television. We're just going to throw them out there, and you're going to get to see every issue that they still have with, you know, their ultimate skill set as a wrestler. No, it's about being able to hide some of those weaknesses, accentuate the strengths, and go all in on that until those weaknesses become strengths, right? That's always been the model in professional wrestling. Like, you can go back as many years as you want, right? It's like, I mean, there are so many people we could point to as an example, but it's you have to kind of build the presentation package to where it plays into every single strength. And let me just take it a step further, right? We look at the same entrance here. And just look at the visual of Jade. I mean, and that's always been something. Everyone's known that from the start. When she showed up in AEW, it's just like, there is no one who looks like Jade Cargill. She is just a completely unique physical specimen. And they are playing into that. And I think that is what is perfect about this whole thing is I think there are a lot of people who are still probably wanting to say, well, she'll never be able to get there. She'll never be able to cut it. It doesn't matter where she's at right now. As long as you present her like a big deal, she is a big deal, because that's what it all comes down to, is really how you just put her in a situation where she can succeed. And I think immediately now we're seeing that, right? We're immediately seeing that they are putting her in a situation where she can succeed. As we said, go back to the Rumble. They didn't put her in a one-on-one match in the Rumble. They put her in the Rumble match. They accentuated all of the strengths of Jade Cargill, which was her strength, by the way. That's her power and just her overall, again, her physique, all this other stuff. They put her in a position to succeed there. Now, you wait until this moment to bring her in, because you don't necessarily want to have to put her on television every single week leading up to WrestleMania 40, where maybe she's going to get lost in the shuffle based on the 15 other things they have going on, on weekly television in WWE. No, she was the focus here. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's kind of in response to, Mercedes Moné going to AEW. She was someone, came out, did this, end of the show, came out, did this, whatever. Like, the comparison game's always going to be played just because that's how it works in wrestling. But if you focus on Jade here, they put her in a position, like I said, to where look at all the strengths. They're not, making her go out and have a one-on-one singles match at WrestleMania. I know there were many fans out there that were hoping, hey, maybe they get to this Bianca Jade match this year. There was no reason to do that, because if they don't think she's ready, again, you don't put her in that scenario, because then you could bring out some of the potential still weaknesses of her game. But instead, let's put her in a situation where she can succeed. And they're doing that now with the 6-woman tag. She doesn't have to be in the ring for the all 20 minutes or whatever this match goes, right? She gets to be the person who probably is going to get the hot tag, and she's going to come in, clean house, and probably is going to be the person who gets the pin in this match. And so that is something that I think we talk about Triple H's way of doing things, right? It's really leaning into the strengths of your performers and bringing that out. And that's why you give someone a grand entrance, because it is about the visual spectacle, especially when you look at someone like Jade, because as I said, there's no one who looks like her. So play that up as much as you can. Really lean into it as much as humanly possible, because it's going to immediately resonate with the fans. And she's the one who comes out to basically save the day at the end of SmackDown, saving Bianca, saving Naomi, and all of this. And you get, just what she can do physically. Like, that is what this is all about. And so I think sometimes it can be very easy just to go so far in the direction of, well, she's got to be able to wrestle a 30-minute match on her own. No, she doesn't. And WWE's never going to put her in that position if she's not ready. And I think that is the strength of someone who is a good booker, which I think Triple H definitely is when we look at some of the stuff that they've been able to do, is because it really is a matter of putting them in a position to succeed. And I think WWE revealed that more than anything on SmackDown, is they're not just going to throw Jade out there because she's the next hottest thing, right? They're not just going to throw her out there and say, we've got to have a match with Jade, one-on-one, let's go. If they don't think that's where they need to go just yet, you give her this incredible entrance, you give everyone the incredible visual, like we said, just even what she's wearing, right? Like, just those kind of things. You give them those things that really stand out, the visible things, like I mentioned, whether it's this part of the entrance or this part of the entrance, right? It's what stands out. And for Jade, she can be the complete package. And I feel like this is kind of a very clear indicator that they want to get to that match with Bianca, probably, like I said, a year from now is my guess. Maybe things accelerate. Maybe they get there quicker. But that's a match they're undoubtedly going to save for a WrestleMania or SummerSlam. I don't think they're going to do it anywhere else, just because that is a huge match. And you've already seen what the crowd does when you put that in front of them, right? When you put the tease in front of them, you see what the crowd does. So I think this was something where if there were people out there with any sort of questions, like I said, about what WWE had in store for Jade Cargill, it's very clear now that they view her as a top star for the future in this women's division. And when they put the kind of presentation around her that they did on this episode of SmackDown, I don't think it could have been any more obvious that they are really seeing big things in her, and she has all the star power, all the star potential that you could possibly have. How things continue to progress in the ring, that determines the kind of matches we get from her and all that. But sure, are there still things she can work on? I'm no doubt she can still improve matches. She can still improve her promos, all those things. But that comes with the experience, that comes with the reps, as everyone always says. That's what it's all about. And I think WWE understands that she has all the things they want in terms of marketing a big star, in terms of pushing someone that can be the face of an entire division. Like I said, maybe one of the faces of the entire company. And they're not going to put her in situations where they don't feel like she can succeed. And that's why I think the 6-woman tag is a great idea. Gives her another huge moment. The next one after the Rumble now, huge moment at WrestleMania. And we figure out where things go from there. In terms of how they use her from that point on. Will she have to have weekly matches on SmackDown? Maybe. But I feel like they're going to really make her feel special. And I think that is really important, too, when it comes to how they push her moving forward. But there's some thoughts on Jade's official SmackDown debut as a SmackDown superstar. And let me know what you thought about what she had going on here on this edition of SmackDown, what you expect now from the 6-woman tag at WrestleMania 40, and anything else that you guys want to talk about. As always, here on the channel, hit the subscribe button. Newer channel. We've had a lot of fun breaking down a lot of these storylines, especially the Bloodline saga with The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and so forth leading up to that. Check out all the videos on the channel on that. But I appreciate you guys watching as always. Love the feedback, and let me know what you thought about Jade Cargill on SmackDown.